Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know I am, and today we're going to be taking a look at these newer Black Series figures. We have the single-release Darth Maul and the 3-pack version of Qui-Gon Jinn. I got Darth Maul from a GameStop. I did an unboxing video of him. I'll try to leave a card here around this time. And then the Qui-Gon was splitting the pack with my good friend Gwen. I was only after the Qui-Gon, she was only after the Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, and I got my own updated Darth Maul, so it all worked out. So we're going to take a look at these two figures together in this video, and we're going to start with the Darth Maul. Alright, taking a look at Darth Maul, there's not a lot of color variation in this figure. It's mostly just the face. Everything else is black with texture and glossy paint, so you can see the face right there. He is rather stern, not quite gritting teeth angry, but the paint apps look really good, and the horns as well. Extra paint apps all the way to the back. You can see on top of the head as well. And then, yeah, the rest of the figure is just black with, again, variations on cloth, leather, for the gloves, and the belt, and the boots, and glossy paint, and matte paint, and yeah, not a lot of variation in this costume, but he's got all these flappy bits. They are not cloth, they are plastic. I believe the version of this new figure that comes with the speeder has cloth. And also, just as a note, this did not come with a cloak. The 3-pack and I think the speeder one did, but this one did not. This is just a plain, no extra cloth version. And of course, getting into his accessories, he does have the lightsaber, which is thinner than the previous one, and he does have a port on his belt. So if you really want to display him with this tucked away, you can. It just ports right there. I personally do not like to do that, and I of course prefer to display him with the blades actually in the saber. The colors on my actual camera are a little off. I'm going to try and fix it in the actual edit. This is a bit more orange than I'd prefer as compared to like the face. The face is more of a deep red. This is more of like a light red, more orange color. I do recommend that when you go to put this in either of the hands or both of the hands or just even one of the hands, split the saber and then slide it in, because these hands don't like to really give for putting the saber into the hand. You can just kind of slide it out and risk bending it, but it's putting it in is a bit harder doing it that way. So setting the lightsaber aside, let's just go over articulation for this figure, because again, not a lot of details to really go over. So he can look up. He's got a ball at the head and ball at the base of the neck, so there is that. He can look down a little bit. He can side to side and look side to side, and all the range of movement you would want there. He's got some pretty good butterfly joints, and go in and out. Shoulders can go that high and full 360. Elbows get past 90, and there is some rotation there. There is a cut at the glove, so you can rotate there. The hands are on a ball peg, which, okay, you can kind of see there. It's got 2 points of articulation at the base of the wrist and at the hand. So you can do all kinds of movement, not one particular motion, but all kinds to really help with the saber posing. He's got a ball at the waist. I think it's a double ball, so there must be some kind of peg in between, and there's a ball at the legs and at the torso, so he can go all around. He can go back quite a bit, forward quite a bit, and of course side to side. The hips can go damn near perfect splits there, and these cloth bits do get out of the way. Again, they're not cloth, but they're plastic. I don't know what skirt. It's called a skirt. The skirt bits get out of the way. He does have a thigh cut, as you can see there. He has a single jointed knee that can get a little bit past 90. I do realize I forgot to mention how far he can kick forward. So there is that, and he can kick back a little bit. He's got a little bit of boot rotation actually, but oh, never mind. You can get a full 360 if you want to, but I don't know why you would. Ankles can go up a little bit. The boot is running into the little ridge there at the hinge, and that can go down that far. And he does have good ankle pivot. So what are my final thoughts on this Darth Maul figure? So initially when I was unboxing him, I didn't really see a ton of difference between him and the previous molded Darth Maul figure, which I had from the archive release. Like, a lot of the articulation seemed the same, except for, a few points here and there. But it wasn't until actually finishing that video and really starting to pose him that I realized, no, this is way better. Not only is he better proportioned, he can get more range, but he's also more stable. Like, I had a serious problem when posing that archive Maul. He would fall over constantly, where this one, I don't think I had any issues posing him and him falling over. I don't think he fell over once when I was posing him with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. So hats off to this figure for really impressing me once I got to really handle him. And I'm very happy that I decided to cave and get this release, because I initially didn't think I needed the single release or any of the updated Maul molds, but it really sold me once I had him in hand. So very, very happy to have him. Does he have the fun factor? Yes. If you don't have a Maul, or if you have a Maul and are familiar with, like, say, the Season 7 Clone Wars Maul, it might actually be better than that one, but it's definitely better than the archive one, and you can definitely have some fun with him. I took a lot of pictures. I pulled up the scene from Phantom Menace when they did the fight on Naboo and tried to capture as many moments from that as I could. So what is my final rating on this figure? I'm going to have to give him an 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9. He's really up there. A great update to a character that really did need it. I think the previous Maul was... I know the archive was more recent, but I want to say it was very early on in the Black Series. First couple years, I want to say, and they have really improved since then. So to get an upgrade on this character was fantastic, and I love how it turned out. Now, getting into Qui-Gon right off the bat, I'm just going to say my biggest complaint with this figure is I wish they did an updated body on this Qui-Gon figure, because the Obi-Wan from this pack was an okay update. Like, I think it was using the Attack of the Clones base body for Obi-Wan, and that body is more recent than this Qui-Gon's body is, and this is an older mold that doesn't quite have all the articulation that you would hope from a Black Series figure. So I would have really liked to have seen that. But this is still a decent update, especially if you are missing out on a Qui-Gon figure like I am, or was, I should say, because he has a new face deco. As you can see, it's a lot better likeness to Qui-Gon in the movie. And as you turn around, looks like we got a little bit of scuffage there on the shoulder, but otherwise that's okay. Let's see the back of the figure. Belt is painted all the way around. You can see the different colors of the robes. Down to the boots, no paint there. And got some more paint on the belt here. And let's go ahead and show off the accessories. Because, of course, he has to have his lightsaber, which is looking really good. I remember actually having a actual, like, life-size toy of a lightsaber, like, of his particular hilt when I was younger, so I always have nostalgia for this look. And you can pop the blade out. Of course, port it right here on his belt if you so wish. And it goes right there, no problem. But then, of course, he has his cloak here, which I think is definitely a decent Black Series soft goods. Here lately, it seems like they've been a bit hit or miss with some soft goods, so I'm glad to see that this one holds up, at least to the other cloak that I have. I don't have a ton of Black Series cloaked figures, but as you can see, you just kind of have to slide him in, and I don't know why it's catching so much, but there we go. That arm is now all the way through, and that kind of sits like that. You can have the hood down. I like to actually tuck the hair over the hood if you have it down. Just it'll keep it in place and not like kind of puff out. But if you want to have it up over the head, it goes like so. Not too bad, actually, for some cloaks. I know recently there's some controversy with an updated Sidious or the Emperor figure, but this one I think actually lays pretty well on this figure. But let's take it back off so that we can go over the articulation on this Qui-Gon. So first up, he is on a ball and hinge, so he can look down a little bit, actually quite a bit, but he cannot look up very much. He can do side to side. Hair will kind of get out of the way, but it's not a super pliable material. Shoulders can go up that far, can go down, full 360. Single jointed elbow can go to there, and he also has a rotation there at that elbow. A hinge that's supposed to, I think, be up and down, and you can't fully utilize it. You can kind of get it to go down back that way. And then he has a ball at the waist that doesn't do a lot. You can go back a little bit forward, rotation, some side to side. It's not the best joint there. Hips can go out that far. Can kick forward a bit. There's no real slits in the front of the skirt, just on the sides. And then he has a thigh cut, double jointed pinned knees, but he can kick his own butt. No boot swivel because the pin is at the boot. And then you can see the ankles go up a little bit and down quite a bit. And you can do the standard ankle pivot. So, what do I think of this Qui-Gon figure? Well, I already got into it a bit, and it's just, I wish he had a better body mold. There's a lot of Jedi figures that came out in the early days of the Black Series that I feel like need serious updates in terms of body mold. The Episode 1 Obi-Wan, I think, is fine, but this Qui-Gon figure, I think, needed a good body mold update. Am I upset by the fact that I now have this figure and it's not updated? No. It's just my main complaint across the board with Black Series is articulation. Especially when it comes to the Jedi, I have a harder time getting them into the poses that I really want them to be in. And it mainly comes down to the articulation. Mostly at the body, like the crossbody and the crunches, that is what really hinders the figures. And this particular mold not having butterflies and not having much crunch really hinders it. Otherwise, I think it's a great figure, and it has a great likeness. I love the cloak. The saber's pretty good. I think the green needed to be a little bit brighter, but otherwise, it's fine. I can live with it. But yeah, it's not perfect by any means, but I'm very happy to now have a Qui-Gon in my collection. Does he have the fun factor? Yeah, yes. I don't know if it's fun factor or the fact that I just finally had a Qui-Gon and can do more shots from the Duel of the Fates like fight that I was just excited to get him in hand and play with him, and did so many pictures. It's hard to say really if that was fun factor or not. I'll say yes. What's my final rating on this figure? I'm going to say a 7 out of 10. That's my average. If you were missing out on a Qui-Gon, it's a good figure for the collection. If you already have a previous Qui-Gon and you're happy, it's one you can easily pass on, especially if you're not after a 3-pack, because that's what this figure came in. It was a 3-pack. So if you're not wanting to pay the $75 just for a Qui-Gon, that works, or you can always do what I did and split the pack with a friend. But that is my final thoughts on Qui-Gon. Alright, and that was my review of the Star Wars The Black Series single release Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn from the 3-pack. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of these figures. Let me know what you think of the review. While you're down there, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.